Hey listeners, it's Andrew here, and yeah, I'm gonna do a little pre-show before we get into the main show. You're probably expecting that little dingling intro, but instead you get this lovely voice. We didn't record on Saturday, and hence why this episode's late, which is actually even worse because the episode we're releasing was recorded like 2 months ago. We're actually going to release this is the second episode of Music Behind the Games, but it's the first episode you guys will listen to. They're going to be out of order. As well as I also want to point out that we aren't going to do Patreon anymore. The donation support was nice from, a handful of you that decided to join. It was just, I refunded everybody. And also because the taking out that money was outrageously expensive and it's just not worth it. But also because we're not doing this for that. This is more just something for us to do and something fun. But as always, you can support us through donations through the Acast, which you find in the description of every episode we record. And Austin will tell you that again in about a minute or two. But I just want to point that out. So don't worry about that. We're mostly just going to do the Acast promotion, as well as I think we're going to set up a Reddit and a Discord for everyone to use, because we kind of just want to create a community where you guys can come and hang out and chat with us. And I'm trying really hard not to do the thing. God damn it. But so let's just kind of stick with that, I think, is what we're going to do. I have a website that we're slowly working on, but I probably won't get that launched till next year. And with, I haven't said this, I've alluded to it, but I've never outright said it. Part-time worker, full-time student, I don't have time to kind of do the whole social media thing and keep on the Patreon thing. So trying to focus on something where I can expect maybe even you guys to run it, or I can kind of rely on my fellow podcasters to run it as well. I just kind of, there's a lot on my plate and I just can't really do the whole thing. So instead, I think we're going to do maybe Reddit and Instagram and Discord, and I think we're just going to sit with that. So please be excited for that. I'll kind of announce when that launches and when that happens. I'm kind of hoping to get that up maybe by the end of next week, maybe the week after. So I will be gone again next week, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. So you'll get your Three Musketeers at that point. So yeah, all right. Well, I think I said everything that needed to be said going into this episode. On that note, let's play that thing. Let's play that thing. We have to listen to that lady talk at the beginning. So play that jingle, y'all. Whoa. I think we're starting, dude.
Are we going right now?
I think we're good to go.
Welcome back to Music Behind the Games. I'm your host, Austin, and today we're talking about the most important series to me. Without these games, I might not be the gamer I am today. And of course, today I'll be talking about the Halo series. Now, Andrew has once again called upon my blood oath to mention where you can find us on the internet. If you'd like to hear and want to know where you're able to support us, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at One Podcast for Nerds. That is the number 1 podcast, the number 4 nerds, where you can where we post updates about the show. You can support us on Acast or Patreon, where you can find this show. It's the best one. Link. And all the other ones we are producing. Even though this show will be a Patreon exclusive, we'll be posting the first episode of each month to all major podcast services. Now that Andrew isn't breathing down my neck about the show, today with me is...
Me? Am I supposed to? Is it me? Are you not?
Yeah.
Do I not? Do I don't have a name? Is it Satan? Is that what I'm being called right now?
Yes, because you forced me to say an
Just,
ad every
just
episode.
so you know, I broke into your house and slit your hand. It's on a
Is
contract
that why
somewhere.
I'm bleeding right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably why you have a scar at least.
So, Andrew, like I said in the intro, today we'll be talking what I lovingly dub the Master Chief trilogy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I actually played a little bit today myself. Actually, I got the Master Chief Collection on Xbox Game Pass for my PC, and for this, I just played through the second one because I don't know if I don't know if your listeners know, but we are currently going to be streaming me and Nolan playing. But by the time this probably hits, you'll just be able to
You
find
guys
that
will
stuff
probably be.
be done, and you can find it on YouTube, or we just might be onto a different game because I don't know how far he's going to go with it. So we're definitely playing through the first one right now.
Maybe I'll even be joining, and then we'll really fly
Maybe
through.
there you go.
Yeah. Oh, the future, the possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Forever changing.
Before we get into the individual songs that I prepared for us, which will be my favorites of the first three games, I'm curious, Andrew, what's your experience with the first three Halo games?
The first three, yeah. So I've had all the Xboxes up until well, I've had up to 360 because I never bought Xbox One or the Series XS. But when it came to, I actually the original for me is pretty funny because I had me and my brother both had an Xbox, and he went away for a while, and I went downstairs into his room, and I actually borrowed his Halo game because he was talking so highly of it with like my other brother and stuff like that. So they left or whatever, and I was like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna go try this game out. And I probably played that. It came out in 2000. I think he got it in. I think he got it in like 2001, 2002, and so I would have been 10, 9 or 10. And I played the shit out of that game. I was a lucky kid. I didn't have a curfew. So I played that game
Yeah.
probably till like 1 in the morning. And then Halo 2 was revolutionary because I had Xbox Live. Like I just got Xbox Live. And
Mhm.
I played that game a lot online. And it was with me and a lot of my friends from middle school. And then Halo 3 is the most iconic one. Halo 3 was great because it was like the campaign was really good and the online was like redefined upon like what it was previously for Halo 2 and stuff. And me and my mates after school would play that game until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, probably every day. It was so much fun. It was a good time, and so I have a lot of sentimental value when it comes to the Halo trilogy that I truthfully enjoy and hold. That game holds a close space in my heart.
Hell yeah, man. So, like, when your brother left, you're like, yeah, yoink.
Yeah, man, oh man, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, I don't fucking know what's going on, but like I played it on easy, and I think I got as far as to the truth and reconciliation. I think was the farthest I got that night. That
Oh,
night,
hey, man.
and yeah, man, no, it was. I mean, I played it on easy, so it wasn't that hard, but
Well,
still, like
I
being
mean,
9 or 10 years old. I
but
mean,
I mean, I was watching you guys play it on easy on the stream there, and
that actually wasn't easy.
no,
No, it was whatever heroic. Yeah, it was heroic that we were playing on. I
oh,
didn't
so
even know. I didn't even know. And I was wondering why. I'm like, dude, like I haven't played this game for a while because like when I first got it, when it first came out last year, I played it all the way through, and then I
yeah,
played online a lot. But I was wondering why the hell like we're dying so much and why it takes so like because like when it's on easy and you die, you just pop back up. Like it doesn't matter if you're in combat or not. But because
yeah.
like no one was in combat and it's like, oh, he's in combat, he's not going to come back. I'm like, what? And then I started getting a little suspicious. And then when he left, or then when the game was over, basically, I checked and yeah, I know we were playing on heroic. So we actually got. I mean, he got pretty far for heroic for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. For me though, like I said in the intro, again, Halo was what got me into gaming. Period. Like, the world, the gameplay, the protagonist, even, which by the way, he's the coolest shell of a human being that I've ever seen. Right?
Yeah,
Just a, just a suit of armor with Master Chief. Not a whole lot going in there until the later games.
he's very similar to like the character of Doom.
Yeah, the Doom guy. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Even straight down to the colors.
yeah, 100%. Like I even like even if you think what like the game itself, right? Like it's more like if you took Doom and took out just the ravage death killing to where you had like you added a bit of more of an adventure and stuff, and it's just a little more fuller of, I don't want to say gameplay, but
So
story.
So we just got what you're telling me is here. We need the Doom guy to get a really hot AI girlfriend, have the AI girlfriend die, and then that way the Doom guy will actually have some character progression.
Well, you're only talking about the first three, so we don't really acknowledge that she dies yet.
And of
She never really
course,
died.
well, this is the show after all. The music, God, the music. I can listen to those monk chants for hours. Right? It's it just sticks in my head out every day, man. Even I'll
Yeah,
just be like sitting there, even from like the new TikToks of the kids in the bathroom,
yeah,
right?
no, yeah, that's a good one.
But the Combat Evolved had me thoroughly enthralled as a kid. See, you used to play it on the Xbox. My dad and my brother played it on their old like office computer, right?
On Mac?
Um, no, it was a
Oh,
PC. It was an
PC.
old
Yeah,
fucking PC.
because
It
the
could
game
barely
was
run YouTube. That's how
the
old it
game.
was.
Well, because Halo was originally supposed to be for Mac.
Really? I didn't know
It,
that. I
yeah,
was on a PC though. It definitely wasn't a Mac.
no, I know, but when the game came out, it was supposed to be a Mac exclusive.
Oh, I didn't even know. All my
Yeah,
research, and I had no idea.
and then Microsoft was like, hell no, because like if you actually watch the original gameplay, like the demo when it came to Mac, it's completely different.
Oh,
And then it ended up coming, like the music was all, I'm pretty sure the music was also there, but I can't say that for sure. But the gameplay was definitely different. And then when Microsoft was going to launch Xbox, they snapped the license from Mac. And the game
yeah,
still
because
came out. The game still came out for Mac though,
well,
and
I mean,
PC.
Bungo was owned by Microsoft at that point, right?
Yeah. And
And by Bungo, I mean Bungie. I
no, they weren't
play
owned by
Destiny a
Microsoft.
lot. Yeah, Bungie was a part of Microsoft for a long time.
Oh yeah, they bought them for that reason. Yeah, you're right. No, they
Yeah,
bought them for Halo. That's how
yeah,
they snagged the license.
yeah. I think that after Reach, they had finally bought their freedom back.
Yeah, well, yeah, because Reach was the last one.
But the obsession only got more intense with each game. Like I used to go to the video games, to the fucking movie store, where you used to rent movies and stuff like that. I used to go and pay money to rent an Xbox because I had a PlayStation 2 just to play Halo 2, right? And this was, I'm talking like summers upon summers of like summer jobs of me just going just to rent a Xbox to play Halo 2.
Well, I mean, back then though, like an Xbox was really expensive, so you probably saved money.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know.
Weren't they like $800?
I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell
Yeah,
you
no, they were eight
because I
hundred
know
bucks.
that like the first console that I actually bought for me was the Xbox 360, and I think I paid like $400 for it.
Yeah, no, they brought that price down a lot.
Yeah, but like when I bought Halo 3, I wore that poor white boring Xbox 360 out, right? I spent hours. Like I think I capped out at like 400 hours on alone on Forge, right? And the original version of Forge before like ODST came out wasn't that amazing, right? But since I had an Xbox 360 and the big prevalence back then, for those who don't know, was the Red Ring of Death. I never got it.
I did once.
Oh, did you? Fuck, sucks to
Yeah, but
suck.
I've gone through 360s. I got all the way up to the 360 Elite.
Really? I see. I've only had two. I had my original white one that had worn out. Then I bought the new black one. Then I had
Yeah,
that one up to the PlayStation 4.
yeah, no, I had the
Um,
original white one, the black one. Then the black one died on me. Got another black one, and then I ended up getting Elite like a month later. God, that was a good console though.
yeah, it was. Well, I
Saying.
mean, the Xbox 360, like, and so even though I switched to the PlayStation 4, in my opinion, the Xbox 360 won the console war of that generation.
Well, that would have been 360p PS.
PS3.
Yeah, and the PS3, man, the issue with the PS3 was that the fact that it was such a hard game to develop games for. Like Sony really like shot themselves in the foot with that one.
Yeah, but like they really caught their stride towards the end of the generation, right? It's
Yeah,
just the
but
Xbox were just hitting it. We're hitting it out of the park. Just the fucking like that's out of the gate.
Yeah, but it also is because because the PS3 was out for so long that like developers actually managed, like with technologies going where it was easier and cheaper to produce games for the PS3 than originally when the PS3 originally lost. Like it basically I mean the simplest way to say this is that almost like they like made it very particular with the code of how to do it, so it was almost like software locked,
Oh,
and it just made it really like I don't mean that literally. It's just more of like if you try to think of like a phone when phones used to be locked and moving it from
yeah.
one to the other, like it was just the code was just so particular that it was so hard to do.
Huh. I wonder why they
But
did that.
it was just the way that the console ended up coming out because I think they didn't really think about developers when they made the PS3. Unlike when they made the PS4, they like developers were forefront on that development.
Yeah, that's why the
And so
PS4
that's
was so
why,
awesome.
yeah, that's why the PS4 is so great. It's because it was so easy to do it. And like, I'm not saying the Xbox One was a bad launch. Oh, it was a bad launch, but I'm not saying
It
it
was a
was really
very bad
Microsoft's fault.
launch.
It was just the fact. It was just the fucker that they had CEO at the time that decided to be like, third-party games are the future. Yeah, fuck you,
Well,
dude.
well, it's just like I just don't think they misunderstood their core audience, right?
The
If
guy
you're going
running
to
it
try to
misunderstood.
buy, if you're going to try to buy a new audience, you don't want to alienate your original audience until you have your new audience. But they
Yeah.
just straight out of the gate just alienated their original audience, and
So
that is the reason why I bought a PlayStation 4.
the guy that did it's the guy that's running Stadia right now, who like basically just
Oh,
ran that into the ground. So I
yeah.
mean, as you can tell, anything he touches his hands on is garbage.
Stadia.
Yeah, Stadia's dead now. If anyone doesn't
um,
already know.
I mean, like every time I hear a little more, I hear a little bit about it, and then it's just like I read on the news. It's like, yeah, Stadia died a little more on the inside.
Yeah, it's dying every month.
Now, I think the only real place that we can truly start of with the music behind Halo is, well, the main Halo theme, or it is listed in the original soundtrack, Halo. So around the time of Macworld 1999, Martin O'Donnell, he wrote all the music with Michael Salvatore. There you go. He remembers the development team at Bungie creating a demo to be shared on stage. But despite the rapid progression they made, the demo still lacked the music. It would need to make a good impression. So O'Donnell convinced Alex Seropian, I probably butchered that last name,
Yeah, that sounds right.
who was president at Bungie at the time, to allow him to produce his own original piece of music for the game's demonstration, and that piece would later become Halo. It was written and recorded in 3 days. 3 fucking days, Andrew.
Yeah, it's a short time to record a song.
Right? But it's and the worst part is like it's 3 days, but it ends up becoming one of the most iconic themes in video game history.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Um, but apparently he was told the music should give a feeling of importance, weight, and a sense of the ancient to the visuals of Halo. And he nailed it, in my opinion. The monk style chanting really stood out at the time from anything being released. And honestly, it still does. Andrew, can you name a game that followed the Halo series with a more iconic theme?
More iconic, probably not, but like as iconic, yeah. Like I mean, so when like I was reading over all your notes and stuff, I went and like I was thinking like yeah, okay, like I'm sure there's iconic. Now when we think iconic, like I was thinking like post Halo, and so like Elder Scrolls came out post Halo, and like Skyrim with the Dragonborn song and stuff like that. Like at the beginning, the like that
First
yeah, that was
hurrah!
yeah, that's an iconic song for sure that like you can see a lot of memes of and stuff like that. But even then, like for its time, like Final Fantasy VII, like all Final Fantasy games have iconic music, and then like you have Mario, Zelda. But like when it comes to the when it comes to like the Halo series and stuff, like it's easy to say that like the Halo series song, like the theme itself is definitely up there with like some of the most like nostalgic and most recognizable games like ever created. And so like it definitely deserves to be up there to where it is.
Some fun info on this song is that it wasn't actually originally going to be in the game. Uh, well, the version we all know and love at the very least. Originally, they intended the Kowali accents to be sung by professionals. But after seeing an example of what he wanted, the others, that being Bungie, suggested using O'Donnell's own rendition instead. So he actually had so he brought in like 4 buddies along with Salvatore, right? And they actually did the monk part.
Yeah, well, I mean, why not be part of your masterpiece?
I mean, I thought it was amazing because you when you hear it, you think like at least I think it should like it was done by a professional.
Yeah, but like again, like I mean, if you think of all music now, like you know, you have auto tune and stuff like that. So I mean, I didn't know he did it himself. That much I can say, and it's amazing that he did do it himself. But like at the same time, like it is easy to make music kind of sound. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's easy to make video game music, I believe, to sound very professional. And I think he did a good job. Like I don't know if he was the one that in the end like edited it and mixed it, but I think whoever did a great job at doing it.
Speaking of professionals, though, Andrew, here's an excerpt from IGN in an interview with O'Donnell himself. So apparently, he told IGN that his inspiration for the Halo theme was the Beatles, of all things. While driving to his co-writer's home studio, O'Donnell remembers brainstorming. He said, "As I was driving, I thought, okay, ancient. You know, monks are ancient, so I'm gonna start with that, right? Some sort of monks chant, and it's got to be hooky. It's got to stick to people's heads, and then we'll go with some sort of epic and pounding cellos and drums and stuff." It wasn't until he began singing the Beatles song "Yesterday" that the theme started to take form. He then went on to say, "I've always analyzed yesterday's melody. It's got one high point, one low point, and it's got 4 sort of irregular phrases," he said. So the Halo theme is not a copy of the Yesterday melody, but the Yesterday melody inspired me to put it together. Because I thought, well, if I could have one high point and one low point and 4 irregular phrases, but still do a legitimate monk chant melody, it may be able to have legs.
I actually think that that is super. It's funny and ironic, because like a little history on the song "Yesterday" by the Beatles. It's a really like renowned song too. Like it's a very popular song, and it was written by Sir Paul McCartney. And what's really funny about that song is that he woke up one morning with a tune in his head, and he didn't know like where it came from or what it was from, but he had a tune in his head, and then so he had a piano right beside him, and he started playing the tune, and he actually started writing the lyrics for "Yesterday." But
Huh.
he was so paranoid that he was ripping it off of someone else. Like he thought, oh, maybe I just heard this somewhere, and I don't remember where. He literally went to other musicians and was like, "Hey, do you know this tune? Like, have you heard this before and whatever?" And he essentially treated it like if he found like $1,000 on the ground, he went to the cops and he held on to it for like a week, and if no one claimed it, then it's yours. That's basically what he did with the tune. And that's how
Wow,
yesterday was.
really?
Yeah, no, that's how yesterday was created. He waited a whole week until he started to actually like work stronger with it than what he did. And so I think that's just funny that like, you know, that O'Donnell was inspired by the song "Yesterday," and like yet like where the song "Yesterday" came from was just kind of like out of nowhere. And then, you know, all of a sudden O'Donnell writes a song like inspired by the song that becomes so iconic, just you know, in the video game world, just as "Yesterday" is in the music world. So
Yeah.
it's a nifty little like coincidence, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, man, that's fucking awesome. The parallels are uncanny, really.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really cool.
So I also have here, thanks IGN, because thank you for the quote. So for me, it was always Halo 3 was my most iconic game out of the main 3. What was your favorite game, man?
So this is actually a really again, I get notes all the time, so it's kind of nice because I don't do this to you guys as often. I literally give you guys my notes like day of. But so I read the question, and you know this is really tough to answer. I really enjoy all three for different reasons. I enjoy the first one because it was what got me so hooked on the franchise from pillar bottom to pillar bottom, and like everything in between. Uh, but like Halo 2, that's when Xbox Live came out. So I mean, now you have like the sweet story from Halo 1, and then you have the wicked multiplayer for Halo 2. And when I say wicked, I mean wicked for the time. And I played the game for so long. Like Slayer on Blood Gulch is like my go-to, and like I learned all the super jumps and all that stuff. And so like yeah, I played that incredibly well. I even played Halo 2 the night that like on my I had a 360, and I played Halo 2 on the night that the original Xbox servers were going down, which was on
Oh,
April.
really?
Yeah, so April 15th, 2010, which was actually my grad year. They announced that they were shutting down the original Xbox Live servers, and so like a bunch of people, I was like reading online, a bunch of people online playing it until it shut down. I was like, man, just for the so basically what that meant is that you couldn't play Halo 2 online anymore, like not until the Master Chief Collection came out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, like one last hurrah. So like me and my friends went back online, and we had one last hurrah on Halo 2. I think it was supposed to shut down at some weird time, like I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. But I think we ended up getting off at 1 because we weren't gonna play all the way till shutdown. We just wanted to play the last night. But but I don't think it shut down until 4 o'clock because a lot of people were not streaming, but were recording themselves playing it, and like they were getting a little annoyed that like it wasn't getting shut down. So, but yeah, I played it that night. But then, and like it's Halo 2, and but then like Halo 3 is just the best of all worlds. I mean, like it added the power ups like the shield, a bubble shield, and you had Griff Ball, and you had like everything. They added so much to the multiplayer in that game. They added so much to the story in that game. Everything was so well redefined down to the smallest detail, and it probably, yeah, I have to agree that Halo 3 is probably my favorite. Though Halo 2 holds that small multiplayer spot in my heart, Halo 1 holds the main story and the heart of the franchise. But I mean, I played Halo 3 with my mates up until like yeah, so late in the evening on school nights. Definitely later than I should have been. But yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Well, the reason I asked is because you probably heard this song in most of the games, but um, as it was in 4 of the main series games, Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo 4, and Reach, respectively. But did you know that it was renamed in each like game?
No, so yeah, it was called like what? It was called like in Halo 3
Unforgotten.
like Unforgotten, and Halo 3 was Never Forget, right?
Yeah.
And then I think Reach was Never Forget Midnight version, which is like a weird thing to
No, that's
call it.
4.
Oh, it's 4.
That's
Sorry, it's
4.
4. Yeah,
We remember is in Reach.
we remember it was in Reach. So like, uh, so like yeah, so I was like when I was reading this, I was like, so like, is there like a weird like connection between the storyline and like this particular song? Because like we remember in Reach, okay, well all the Spartans die on Reach, so like that's cool, like that makes sense. And then like what was it? It was Unforgotten in Halo 2. Now that's a hard one to connect. Never Forget in Halo 3 makes sense because Master Chief goes missing, and
Yeah.
we remember in Reach, yeah, and then Never Forget is because like would that be because they never find him or like because I can't remember what happens to
Uh,
Master Chief at the end of that one, Halo
at
4.
4, at the end of 4,
Yeah, yeah.
or
Did he make it back?
Cortana sacrifices herself for.
Yeah, yeah. But did he make it back to Earth?
Yeah, he makes it back to Earth because
Okay, so
there's
there
a
you go.
really
Never.
heartwarming scene when he's talking to one of the
Yeah.
NPCs there.
So yeah.
Uh,
So Never Forget would make sense. So like Unforgotten in Halo 2 is kind of weird because nothing really bad happens to him in Halo
you,
2. Like
well, I mean, fucking Covenant invades Earth, but
so, I guess Unforgotten could be like the loss of Earth to some degree or the damage done to it.
possibly. But
Yeah.
apparently, the name Unforgotten refers to the fact that Martin O'Donnell forgot to about the track during the production of Halo 2.
Oh.
Like, this is one of the last tracks he actually had to record because he just forgot about it. So he named
Yeah.
it Unforgotten because he's like, well, I didn't forget it.
Yeah. So because this is the main title screen would be this, and like this, yeah, for Halo
Not
2.
necessarily. It's the first section of the song is included as one of the subsequent pieces in the main Halo 2 theme, but it's not
Yeah.
the only theme in the main Halo 2 theme.
No, but I just meant for title screen though. Isn't it what you hear on the title screen of Halo 2 is Unforgotten?
Like it was a kind of like the first section was included as one of the subsequent pieces in the main Halo 2 theme, but it wasn't the only one.
It wasn't the title screen theme, wasn't it though? Like when you go on the title screen of Halo 2, that Unforgotten plays in the title screen, doesn't it?
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played Halo
I'm
2.
99.99% that
All
Unforgotten
right,
is
well
the
then,
title song. Uh,
then we'll go with it. I'll go with
yeah.
that one.
So
But this piece is characterized with high strings and piano, playing in a legato melody. Unforgotten is often stated to be the most emotional piece in the series.
yeah, that makes sense.
But for me, out of all 4 versions of Unforgotten, Never Forget, which is the main, which is fondly enough the main theme for the main menu of Halo 3, and is my personal favorite version of the song. It keeps the high strings and the piano, but goes 4 keys lower, giving it a more somber tone.
Which
It
makes you
makes
kind of it kind of makes it sound like it's a foreshadow of what the game's going to be, because that game at the end of it's pretty somber.
Yeah, and it's just a darker story in general,
Yeah.
right? Like because if like we said in Halo 2, where Covenant invades Earth in Halo 2, when we start Halo 3, it's already Earth is lost, man. Like
Yeah.
they've already taken over completely, right? I think the first 3 missions in Halo 3 take place on Earth, and you're kind of trying to figure out what's going on by the time you get to the Ark,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about later. I think the darker tones work better with Never Forget than in Unforgotten than Unforgotten did with Halo 2.
Yeah, I kind of think I agree. I mean, so like I had kind of both, and yeah, I kind of think the Halo 3 version sounds better.
But you know what, Andrew?
Yeah.
Enough of that fucking somber shit. All right,
Mm.
we're going to the battle music. This is where we separate the children from the men. All right, we're talking about the rock anthem for saving the motherfucking world, which is also, by the way, the beat I was singing at the beginning of the episode.
It's gonna be the party rock anthem is what we're going with.
Yeah. The thing I love about Halo is how seamless the music is. Like, the last episode, I don't know if you listened to it, Andrew. I was talking about Symphony of the Night with Nolan.
Yeah, dude,
And
I was producing that episode.
oh, that's right.
Yeah, I was on the background giving no information when you guys ran into problems.
Fuck, that's right. For some reason, I thought it was Jonah, man. I'm sorry, I
No,
took away credit from you.
call me fucking Chad.
uh, fuck.
Jesus.
But you know, unlike that last episode with I Am the Wind, which felt really out of place, Rock Anthem from the World fits in perfectly in the universe, from like the monk chants of Halo and the somber tones of Unforgotten and all that stuff. It fits seamlessly, right? It doesn't take you out of the immersion whatsoever. And Halo manages to mix heavy drums and sharp guitar riffs with the calm and mysterious music of the game, and somehow it fits perfectly.
Yeah, and like it's kind of weird because like the song kind of comes like I guess not late, but later in like Combat
Fourth
Evolved.
mission.
Yeah,
Fourth mission.
which is kind of weird because it's like I don't know. It's just I guess because like the beginning of it's so like you're rescuing everything, and then like it's just like all right, well it's time to bring the fight to the Covenant, so it's time to kick ass. Let's rock it up. Like
Yeah.
I guess that's just, now it's almost like you didn't have a purpose, and then once that song plays, it's like Master Chief finally gets his mission. Like, this is what you gotta
Well,
do. You
because
gotta go find a photographer and all
you
that.
need to first figure out like what's going on. But like
Yeah.
you have to save Captain Keyes because he's the man with the plan, right? You're just the muscle.
Yeah.
So once you get that, then you get to the silent cartographer, which, by the way, probably one of the best levels in Halo in general, right? It's just seamless. It's perfect. The island's beautiful, right? But because of that level, because of how like badass I felt doing that, right? It sticks out in my mind because it plays in and you're on like there's like 4 or 5 pelicans and they're flying in to rock music. You get out, you kill a couple Covenant, take over the beachfront, and then you get on the Warthog and you're just free to go around the island. Like you can
Yeah.
stop at the end of the level before anything really happens there. Like you're free to just go up there.
Yeah, no. Well, it's like probably like it's like almost the ideal main like open world section of the game compared to like when you first land on Halo and stuff like that. Like you can go anywhere and do anything in that game, like in that level. Sorry.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. But like the problem with it, right, is as much as I hyped it up, there's just it doesn't need me to really talk too much about it, right? Because it speaks for itself, right? I mean, it is, as I said in the entrance, it's the motherfucking anthem for saving the world, right?
Yeah.
It just portrays itself.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's a good song, and it really does pump you up, and it's kind of like, oh, I almost wish you could play that on like multiplayer.
See what I used to do on Xbox because you said you had an Xbox 360 as well. Holy shit, I had a
Yeah,
stroke. Um, like I just play the main Halo 3 sound system or the soundtrack over Xbox Music, and it'd play over the cutscenes and over the multiplayer and everything like that.
yeah. The only issue with that, though, is I had too many people talking in my ear.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
Usually I played couch co-op all the time. My friends are always at
oh,
mine.
oh man, no, I played that game. I played it when Big Team Bella came out. It was the best because uh, there'd be 4 to 8 of us, and so it kind of sucked when we had our own lobby at that point, but yeah, there was like 7 of us. We'd match make and just sadly torment that like random that ended up in our life. So like,
Ooh.
you gotta pick it up. What are you doing? Could be the best player in our in our squad, but sort of like, nope, wasn't having it. But back
That
then,
might have been
that's when Beacon
that
was
might have
so
been
good.
young me.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It was,
Because
man,
I feel
I used to I used to play exclusively big Team Slayer.
we were SWAT more than anything.
I got
And
into
then
SWAT and Reach.
I got heavily into SWAT in Halo 2. And then when Halo 3 came out and Big Team SWAT was like a thing for a little while, and Big Team Snipers, those were like
Yeah.
our main 2.
Oh, see, I sat in Big Team Slayer and regular Slayer. Like, I used to get like 30 out of 50 kills in Slayer, and then when it came to Big Team Slayer, I would be like leading the lobby by 20 kills. Like, I probably lost a lifetime to Halo 3 multiplayer.
I could not go back to Slayer after playing SWAT for so long, because that's all. We played SWAT so much that
Nah,
like,
just rely on the sniper rifle. That's all you need.
well, no, but the thing is like, even like you start off with a battle rifle, like sometimes you start off with a battle rifle, or sometimes you start off with a what do you call
Magnum.
it? No, what's the? Oh, I guess it wasn't introduced yet. Yeah, so yeah, sure, Magnum. But anyways, and like just like you just think it takes like 2 shots to like or like a shot to kick someone in the head, but like really you got to sit there and like they actually have a shield and everything. Like, man, when I played SWAT, I would be getting 30 to 40 kills.
Blah blah
In
blah.
that alone. Yeah, man, and like I felt so bad when you run down a hallway and you're just shooting everyone in the face that comes right around the corner, and
Getting
you get a
Xbox
spectacular.
messages. Yeah,
Oh, dude,
hacker, hacker.
all the time. But man, it was so much fun. Good
See, I
game.
wore that.
I hated hackers.
I wore that title with honor. Wasn't
For
ever
what?
a hacker, but I was
Oh
always really
man,
good, and I used to get
my
called that all the time.
one of my friends that we played with, he did the stupid disconnecting the router and reconnecting it real quick, so that way you would like lag out to the part where you could kill everybody, and everyone else would like
Oh,
would lag super hard, but you would be running around perfectly on the server, and you would just end up shooting and killing everyone. They wouldn't even know what's going on.
What a piece of shit.
Hated that crap. I didn't play with him that much. He was the one person that I played with that took that game too seriously.
Yeah, I used to get angry. Like, good thing I don't get angry anymore.
Well, he would call me by my gamer tag and not by my name. I'm like, dude, we go
What,
to high
really?
school. Yeah, so you'd be like, oh, Rudy, Ultimate Rudy. I'm like, dude, my name's fucking Andrew. You know that. Like, just say my goddamn name. It's us and 3 other friends. Everyone here knows who we are.
Oh, fucking Christ. But we should probably get back to the music here.
Yeah.
So,
tangents.
we kind of got carried away before, but Andrew, out of the entire series, what game do you think had the biggest success?
What game had the biggest success? And probably the song that the next song it was in. Like the next song you're gonna talk about, the game it was in.
Oh, that's a cop out.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also deduction. I mean, I didn't actually even have to write that. I kind of just assumed.
So the most successful Halo game out of the entire series, leading by a whopping 4.75 million sales. Halo 3 dominates the entire series with its total of 14.5 million sales, according to vgsales.fandom.com/wiki/Halo.
Yeah, that makes sense because I mean, there's 2 generations of like fandom build up coming up here. So like, they only got better and better until, I mean, Halo, and yeah, they got better and better. Even Reach was huge too, and like,
Yeah.
but like once Halo 4 came out, and then 5, it just
See, I really liked Halo 4's story, and Halo 5 suffered because it didn't have a good enough story.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind Halo 4 story. Online kind of sucks for me. I felt like they went too when you started doing
They
like
went to Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
100%.
exactly.
Too Call of Duty for me, where you had the loadouts. No, I'm not doing it.
But now this had plenty of reasons for the numbers, such as it was the perfected version of the original combat system, 1 to 3, right? They took the online multiplayer from 2 and built upon it in every single way, right? Which makes people see Halo 3's multiplayer as just the better version of Halo 2's multiplayer. They finished at the time in 2007 the Covenant Human Covenant War and let you finish the fight for the story. They introduced Forge, which gave you the entire world to just play with.
Yeah, and so I just here's a fun little fact too. I don't know, maybe some people know this, some people don't. But because Halo 3 launched with the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And what was his name? Sorry, I gotta Google it, but I think it was Peter. Man, what was his name? Peter Moore was his name, and so everyone was so convinced that Halo 3 wasn't actually going to be released because it was having some development issues, and so the fans were convinced that Halo 3 was not going to be released with the Xbox 360. It was not going to be released on release day, and Peter Moore. What? Yeah, so everyone thought it wasn't going to be released when the Xbox 360 launched, and they didn't think Halo 3 was going to make it to its launch date because of development issues. So Peter Moore, who was CEO of the time of Xbox, literally got Halo 3 tattooed on his arm with the date, and he presented it at an E3 trailer being like, it is coming on this day to reassure fans.
No.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it didn't actually show up?
Dude, he made it his life goal to make sure it came out on that day.
Oh no! Yeah, but like there's so many times where like video games nowadays they don't care. They'll push them back, right?
Yeah.
They don't want a Cyberpunk 2099 on their situation, right? So like if they had done that to Halo 3, he would have the wrong date tattooed to himself.
Yeah, I mean, like just to the extent that but even think about like a game being rushed and how great it turned out to be, right? Like, I mean, I shouldn't say rushed, but like something that was like a lot of people thought wasn't going to come out on the day it was going to come out, and for it to be released on the day it was, and to be as great as it was, is I think phenomenon or fascinating.
That is actually really fascinating. I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why you're the news guy. You know all important facts.
I know some weird shit, that's for sure.
Now, for me at the time, a young lad with an Xbox 360 with nothing to lose, just an Xbox 360 and a dream, I loved the campaign. Right, I really did. I spent a lot of time on it. I went through, did all the lasso runs, but for me, it was the multiplayer that kept me going back. And it kept me there until Reach was finally released. But as an adult, I now see the flaws with the multiplayer. Right, there is no sprint. The reason why you relied on grenades is because you weren't able to get into the fight. It wasn't as fast. Right,
Yeah.
and the campaign really shines. Right.
Yeah, I didn't mind that it was a sprint and that it was a little. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, Reach is great. Reach is. I mean, if we were covering Reach, I would say Reach is my favorite. But
see, I mean, that might be in a future episode. See, that's why I broke it up.
Yeah, so I would say Reach out of the entire series would be my favorite. But I mean, with 4 and 5 though. But I kind of. I don't know. I think for me, I didn't even really want the sprint that badly. I didn't really need the jetpack or the hologram or anything like that. So,
no, I can agree with that. I mean, it's the first. So the reason why I'm talking about Halo 3 is because I wanted to talk about the arc, and the song that you first plays when you get there called "The Farthest Outpost." Right. The reason why I brought Halo 3 is because this is the first time in the entire Halo series, right, that you go somewhere that isn't Earth and that isn't Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You go to where it all began, Installation 00, or better known as the Ark. It opens up new possibilities, new mysteries, and I don't think any other song portrays that mystery factor as much as The Farthest Outpost. It begins with vocals singing gracefully, unaccompanied. This portrays the feeling of isolation, being where the Ark is. There's nothing around it. It's empty, right? Then, after the feeling of isolation, strings begin to enter to echo the melody before being muted as the percussion enters, leading into a section of the bass line and progressive beats. I love this section because it represents both theme and tune, the curiosity that has been piqued of this new adventure. And in this new playground, you can commence and go out and begin your adventure. What's your thoughts about the arc and the Farthest Outpost, Andrew?
So I literally listened to the song and all I thought about was Final Fantasy VII.
Really?
I don't know. Like, if you listen to it, it's something that's like straight out of Final Fantasy VII. Because it's like the high pitched singing and like the bass goes like dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it, and then I think of like some Final Fantasy VII music, and like it's almost, I don't want to say it's a rip, but it's like I seriously think that this song is straight out of Final Fantasy VII. It's very similar to Final Fantasy VII. It could be like an intro song. And when I first heard it, and that when I first heard it, that's what I thought, and I didn't know why. It's not really my kind of song. I mean, like, they're not the same in and it's because like this one's more about adventure. But I also feel that the Halo form is better. Is a better would be, if it was in like a Final Fantasy game. I think this version of it would be better than what I've heard in Final Fantasy 7.
Okay.
I'm not saying that Final Fantasy 7 has bad music, but I'm saying this like if you think of like being in like a city, like, and you just kind of have like that background song, like like if you're in a city. Why are you laughing?
Because you've just been fumbling over your entire thought.
Yeah, I'm trying to think as I go. No, but if you're in a city like what's that one when Red finds his father in Final Fantasy 7, like that town.
Oh,
I
Midgard.
forget what it's called. No, it's outside of Midgar. But like when you're like in it, just when you're in a city and there's that background music, sometimes that just plays just generic music in Final Fantasy 7. It's like almost played in like all the different kind of cities and so, or yeah, kind of played in different kinds of cities. Like that's just what the song reminds me of. Like maybe not so much an intro as more of that. But yeah, I mean.
No, I can actually see it now that you actually kind of like fixed your thought
Listen to
process there.
Yeah, if you listen to it, it sounds like it's from Final Fantasy 7.
Okay, no, I can see that now.
I even had a line here that the chief is all about gum and needs to really kill some aliens to find a Covenant story to buy more. But I was gonna make a Duke Nukem joke.
Yeah, Duke. I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't know. So funny though, kicking ass and chewing 2,552 gum. That's so funny. More of an inside joke than to us than maybe to the audience. But everyone gets that joke. If you donate to us, you'll get it though.
Yeah, exactly. See.
We'll say that. That's what the inside joke is.
So, just like our one inside joke, we have one song left. One final effort.
Yeah.
So, with this, I want to try something different. All right, Andrew? I'm trying something different with this final song.
Okay.
So, all right, I want you to listen really closely here. Yeah, I need you to get closer.
Closer to what?
Closer.
I don't know what we're
closer.
doing. That's
leaning,
weird.
Leaning.
I'm
leaning
uncomfortable.
Closer. Yeah.
Red light.
All right.
Red light.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. God damn, man. I love that fucking piano theme, Andrew. To me, that theme song is Halo. Well, to be more specific, it's the Chief's theme, right? And I know the Master Chief actually got a theme in Halo 4, but originally, Bungo didn't even give Master Chief his own theme in the original Halo 3 games. So, the Halo 3 games. In the original 3 Halo games, right? So, to me, this is a topic that I'd be really interested in hearing the listeners on Patreon, right? And what you think would make Halo, which would make Master Chief's theme, right? Because he doesn't have one, right? The piano in One Final Effort, and it doesn't even have to be the entire theme of One Final Effort. Just the first 5 notes betrays John 117 to a T, right? It's actually uncanny, right? 5 notes sum up this character. That's how hollow he was when Bungie was writing him, right? They didn't get 117 on Halo 4 where 343 actually took leaps and strides to make John 117 more human than machine. But before that, he's withdrawn, and hence the limited number of notes, right? So there's only 5 notes that betray how heroic he is, while simultaneously keeping his character a complete mystery. Honestly, I don't think any character's theme fits as well as this one does for that character, right? it shows how much of a complete badass and heroic he is, while also keeping his vulnerability in the forefront. So Andrew, what out of all 3 games, what do you think is Master Chief's theme?
I think Dolly Parton has some good songs that would fit him pretty well.
Yeah, Dolly
Maybe,
Parton.
maybe, no, I would say that out of all the songs we covered, I have to say Rock Anthem for Saving the World.
Rock Anthem.
Yeah,
I think
because
it's a good
like
choice.
when you listen to the song and like if you have like Master Chief on like a gravity lift and he slowly pops into view from like the bottom of the screen up with like the Rock Anthem going, I mean shit, you're in trouble. And about to have your like Covenant ass kicked right to high charity. Like I think that's just how it is. And like I don't think we've ever sounded so nerdy in a podcast till like this moment. But anyways, and so and like I just think it's just to get you pumped and like and you know like I said like this game is almost like a better version. I don't want to say that. This game it's got Doom quality to it.
I'll say
And
that's a good way to get into an argument online.
yeah, no, I know. Don't at me. But I do think that yeah, I think it's got Doom qualities to it, and you're right, he's hollow. Like there's not much growth to him until like later on in the game when you know he's going through his weird fetishes for Cortana. But I just
I don't want to really talk about that until Halo 4.
okay, I don't even want to talk about it at all. But it really shows that like that yeah he's hollow and there's not much to him, and so you're just kind of there just to kick ass and kill aliens. Like that's just his purpose in the game, right? And in the first one for sure, he was just there just to you know what I mean. You're trying to stop them from doing their evil deed, but at the same time, like you know, you're not merciful in your actions. Like you know, there's a few times you can drive by some Covenant like jackals and just be like, you know, I don't need to kill you, but you're like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna murder you and slaughter you right where you stand.
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean, I think that is to show Master Chief being a blank slate for you can do whatever you want with that.
yeah, and so that's why I think that you just I mean, I guess yeah, it's your persona that you put into him, which would I guess lead to the song you choose to have his theme. So whatever song
See,
you choose, I think reflects more of you than it does of him.
well, that's a good point. That's actually a really deep analogy.
Yeah, there you go. For your psychology, I gotcha.
Yeah. But as I said before, this last version was something I want to try different because I want to get you guys, the listeners, more involved. I want to hear your opinion. All right. Last time I didn't get any reflection back from you guys about what you thought, if you disagreed with me or not on I Am the Wind, right? So for this one, I want you to tell me what you think. I want you to tell me so then that way I can tell you why I'm better than you, why I think my song's better than yours, right? So you can leave. So what you can do for that is go to onepodcast4nerds@gmail.com and leave a message. Let's start a conversation.
Or you can say hi. Be nice too.
Or you can say hi. No, but I'm there to argue. You can say Andrew will say hi to you. I'm there to argue.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say hi. I'm all for it.
I'm in a fighting mood now. I'm passionate. Those 5 notes are the only 5 notes for Master Chief, okay?
Well, I mean, we'll for sure air the one like our responses because if you want more of this, you have to subscribe to Patreon. But we'll make sure that this one that goes out, that you know, if you guys message us, we'll answer the one we're going to make public.
Yeah.
Back. So.
Hell yeah, man. But that's about it, Andrew. What did you think of the music behind the games of Halo?
Well, you know, I've produced one episode, and it's super weird being in the non-hosting chair. I mean, even though I say co-host on my show, but it's weird. It's weird not being the talkative one, and I can tell that I'm the problem for derailing conversations now.
Yeah.
So
many times I'm sitting there going through my script. I'm sitting there looking through it. I'm like, wait, where the fuck am I now?
Yeah, fuck. Well, man, that's me. I do that all the time. But no, it was. I mean, you know, look forward to us talking about Halo in a more. I mean, more of our conversation on Halo, maybe on on future podcasts, which
Or
I
on
think
stream.
we will be streaming it. But again, by the time this comes out, I don't know which one we're going to be on yet. But that being said, like for sure, be excited and look forward to one of our new shows called A Nerd to the Past, I think is what we're going to call it.
Oh, I like that name.
And I think what we're going to do is we'll cover some more Halo and a more in-depth gameplay view of it, along with our music analysis that Austin kindly did for all of you and us here at One Podcast for Nerds.
Well, thank you.
All
And
right.
good night.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ba-da-ba.